I love the fact that you mentioned neuroscience because I think a lot of people in this kind of spiritual manifesting community, they kind of like will go off with all this theory based on like things that Neville Goddard has said or various teachers, mainly Neville. It seems he's like the prevalent dominant figure in the space, but just because Neville Goddard said something doesn't mean that you need to throw away all this other information, right? Neuroscience is a real thing. What you're talking about, neural pathways, those are so important.
Actually, to your point about Neville Goddard, to me, when I think about Neville Goddard's teachings, I actually think that it is 100% connected to this conversation we're having about the subconscious mind. Some of what he says, the verbiage is quite old school, and
Yeah.
he connects it a lot to the Bible, so people sort of see the religious spiritual side to it. But actually what he's saying is that your subconscious mind is God. Like, that's the controversial thing about what he's saying. Your subconscious mind is the creator of your reality. And one of his most powerful techniques is about leveraging the moments before we fall asleep. So as we drift off to sleep, what happens inside our brain is it goes through different frequencies. And one of those frequencies is the theta state. And that just happens naturally every night as we're drifting from consciously being awake to falling asleep. And so what he shares is that it's very important for our last thoughts before we fall asleep to be focused on what we want, and even better, to already be there, like to be thinking from the point of
Yeah.
view that you are the person, you're already living that reality, because then your subconscious mind opens just as we fall asleep and it absorbs that information, it takes it for fact, and it rehearses it while you sleep all night long. So I always, now that I've heard that, I always think as I'm lying in bed, okay, in the past, maybe I would overthink about things, or beat myself up, worry about things, regret things that happened 5 years ago or whatever, and I'd just be lying there in bed making those thoughts the ones that my subconscious mind receives just before I go to sleep. So now that I'm aware of this, I will either listen to affirmations. I tend to read my scripting letter just before I fall asleep as well, to remind myself of the things that I want as if they've already happened. I'll just visualize in my imagination a scene of something that I want, of a moment of my future, of the ultimate place that I'm headed to. I'll let my subconscious mind focus on that just before I fall asleep, because it goes straight in. Like if you go to a hypnotherapist and they get you into a deeply relaxed state to start reprogramming your mind, they're trying to get your brain into theta state. And we naturally fall into theta state every single night before we fall asleep. So we can hypnotize ourselves for success.
Yeah.